Welcome back, Pixel Nation. Comics Division here. How the hell are you? There has been a lot of interesting shit going on this week, and if you haven't seen the Project Veritas video about Google being biased, you should. If anything, it's so you can draw your own conclusions. Now, the video has already been pulled from YouTube by Google for, reasons. And on top of that, the video has also been pulled from Vimeo. So I guess there really shouldn't be any surprises there, I guess. But you can still watch their video on BitChute, which I will have a link in the description below. Now, the fact that Google has had the video pulled is pretty damning in my opinion, and this makes them look guilty as hell. Honestly, they would have been better off if they left the video up and then countered it with their own statement. But that's not the case. The message comes across as, if you make content that big tech doesn't like, you will be censored. Now, before we get too deep in this, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Now, I'm not exactly sure what my life expectancy on YouTube is going to be, considering they've been cracking down on smaller channels. So make sure to go and subscribe to my backup channel on BitChute. As always, links will be down in the description below. Now, the tactics that James O'Keefe has used has been questioned and criticized in the past. And let's be honest, activism disguised as journalism is still activism, even if it's coming from the right. And there are some serious ethical questions around undercover journalism, and normally I would say take this with a grain of salt, but honestly, I think Project Veritas is onto something here. Several of the statements made by Gennai I do find very concerning. In particular, this one right here.
2020 is certainly on top of now my old organisation, Trust and Safety, is top of mind. They've been working on it since 2016 to make sure we're ready for 2020. So training our algorithms, like if 2016 happened again, would the outcome be different?
It's unclear what Gennai is exactly referring to, but Google's political agenda is undeniable.
Now folks, if this is true and Google is truly meddling with the integrity of the electoral process, this is not good. Then we are heading straight for the cyberpunk dystopian future where corporations wield more power than governments. Now, Gennai did respond to Project Veritas' video in a blog post on Medium. In late May, I accepted an invitation to meet with a few people who claimed to be from Step 2 Tech Solutions. They said they wanted to chat with me about a mentoring program for young women of color in tech, an area I've been long passionate about. We went to dinner at a restaurant in the Mission, San Francisco. Unfortunately, I now know these people lied to me about their true identities, filmed me without my consent, selectively edited and spliced the video to distort my words and the actions of my employer, and published it widely online. I now know they belong to a group called Project Veritas, which has done this to numerous other people working at tech and other sectors. Now, to be fair, context is important, and Project Veritas should release the full footage around these statements just to make sure that things are above board. Why did they do this to me? It seems they found that I had spoken publicly at Google I/O on ethics, and they wanted someone who would give them the juicy sound bites about tech and alleged bias against conservatives. Over the course of a 2-hour dinner, I guess they think I delivered. Project Veritas has edited the videos to make it seem like I'm a powerful executive who was confirming that Google is working to alter the 2020 election. On both counts, this is absolute and unadulterated nonsense, of course. In a casual restaurant setting, I was explaining how Google's Trust and Safety team, a team I used to work on, is working to help prevent the types of online foreign interference that happened in 2016. And this is the reason why it's important for Project Veritas to go and release the full footage with the context. But let's be honest here. If she was telling the truth in the video, it's not like she would go on the record publicly admitting that Google is biased. This blog post is probably damage control. However, to make things more interesting, apparently there is a brand new leak that appears to contradict her statements about Google not having any kind of ideological bias. Now, the image for the email is rather small, so instead I'll be reading from the Bonding in the Comics article that covers this. Now, if you want to go and check out the article, the link will be in the description. Today, it is off to 1 or 2 steps to Nazis. If we understand that PragerU, Jordan Peterson, and Ben Shapiro et al. Are Nazis using dog whistles, you mentioned in step 1. I can receive these recommendations regardless of the content of what I'm looking at, and I have recorded thousands of internet users sharing the same experience. I don't think correctly identifying far-right content is beyond our capabilities, but if it is, why not go with Meredith's suggestion of disabling the suggestion feature? Now, I find this email to be absolutely ridiculous. If you don't know anything about Dennis Prager or Ben Shapiro, both of them wear yarmulkes. That means they're Jewish. They're literally calling 2 Jewish men Nazis. This is literally fucking clown world. Now, another thing I found interesting came out of the leaked documents. Now, this is a collection of images that have been put into a PDF file. So there's a possibility that they could have been faked, but in my opinion, they probably have not. Tim Pool believes that they are authentic based off of what he's received from Google insiders, and I do trust his journalistic integrity. Get ready, folks, you're in for a doozy. If a representation is factually accurate, can it be algorithmic unfair? Yes. For example, imagine that a Google image query for CEOs shows predominantly men. Even if it were a factually accurate representation of the world, it would be algorithmic unfair because it would reinforce a stereotype about the role of women in leadership positions. However, factual accuracy may affect product policy's positions on whether or how it should be addressed. In some cases, it may be appropriate to take no action if the system accurately affects current reality, while in other cases, it may be desired to consider how we might help society reach a more fair and equitable state via either product intervention or broader corporate social responsibility efforts. Translation? They're fucking using social engineering on us through the goddamn search engine. Call me crazy, but all along I thought the whole point of a search engine was to return the results of something you were searching for, not to try and make the world a better place. This is some serious 1984 shit, folks. This is why corporations should not become the arbiters of truth, because what we'll be getting is propaganda for their vision of fairness. Whatever the hell that means. Now, I'm going to close things out with this video from a recent Senate hearing with Ted Cruz, who is grilling a Google employee regarding the allegations of political bias and censorship. Now, you should watch it all the way through. I think you'll find it pretty interesting. I'll see you next time, folks.
A lot of Americans have concerns that big tech media companies, and Google in particular, are engaged in political censorship and bias. As you know, Google enjoys a special immunity from liability under Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. The predicate for that immunity was that Google and other big tech media companies would be neutral public fora. Does Google consider itself a neutral public forum?
Thank you, Senator. Yes, it does.
Okay. Are you familiar with a report that was released yesterday from Veritas that included a whistleblower from within Google, that included videos from a senior executive at Google, and that included documents that are purportedly internal PowerPoint documents from Google?
Yes, I heard about that report in industry news.
Have you seen the report?
No, I have not.
So you didn't review the report to prepare for this hearing?
It's been a busy day, and I have a day job, which is digital well-being at Google. So I'm trying to make sure I keep the trains on the
sorry,
tracks.
this hearing is impinging on your day job.
It's a great opportunity. Thank you. I really appreciate
one of the
it.
things in that report, and I would recommend people interested in political bias at Google watch the entire report and judge for yourself. There's a video from a woman, Gennai. It's a secret video that was recorded. Gennai, as I understand it, is the head of, quote, responsible innovation for Google. Are you familiar with Ms. Gennai?
I work in user experience, and I believe that AI group is somebody we worked with on the AI principles, but it's a big company, and I don't work directly with Jen.
Do you know her or no?
I do not know Jen.
Okay. As I understand it, she is shown in the video saying, and this is a quote, Elizabeth Warren is saying that we should break up Google. And like, I love her, but she's very misguided. Like, that will not make it better. It will make it worse. Because all these smaller companies who don't have the same resources that we do will be charged with preventing the next Trump situation. It's like a small company cannot do that. Do you think it's Google's job to, quote, prevent the next Trump situation?
Thank you, Senator. I don't agree with that. No, sir.
So a different individual, a whistleblower identified simply as an insider at Google with knowledge of the algorithm, is quoted on the same report as saying Google, quote, is bent on never letting somebody like Donald Trump come to power again. Do you think it's Google's job to make sure, quote, somebody like Donald Trump never comes to power again?
No, sir, I don't think that is Google's job. And we build for everyone, including every single religious belief, every single demographic, every single region, and certainly every political affiliation.
Well, I have to say that certainly does not appear to be the case. Of the senior executives at Google, do you know of a single one who voted for Donald Trump?
Thank you, Senator. I'm a user experience director and I work on Google digital well-being, and I can tell you we have diverse views, but I can't.
Simple question, do you know of anyone who voted for Trump? Of the senior
I definitely know of people who voted for Trump.
Of the senior executives at Google?
I don't talk politics with my workmate.
Is that a no?
Sorry, is that a no to what?
Do you know of any senior executives, even a single senior executive at the company who voted for Donald Trump?
As the digital well-being expert, I don't think this is in my purview to comment on political
So you don't know that. That's all right. You don't have to know.
I definitely don't know.
I can tell you what the public records show. The public records show that in 2016, Google employees gave to the Hillary Clinton campaign $1.315 million. That's a lot of money. Care to venture how much they gave to the Trump campaign?
I would have no idea, sir.
Well, the nice thing is it's a round number, $0.00. Not a penny, according to the public reports. Let's talk about one of the PowerPoints that was leaked. The Veritas report has Google internally saying, I propose we make machine learning intentionally human-centered and intervene for fairness. Is this document accurate?
Thank you, sir. I don't know about this document, so I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to respond to the committee in writing afterwards as to whether this PowerPoint and the other documents that are included in the Veritas report, whether those documents are accurate. And I recognize that your lawyers may want to write explanation. You're welcome to write all the explanation that you want, but I also want a simple, clear answer. Is this an accurate document that was generated by Google? Do you agree with the sentiment expressed in this document?
No, sir, I do not.
Let me read you another, also in this report. It indicates that Google, according to this whistleblower, deliberately makes recommendations. If someone is searching for conservative commentators, deliberately shifts the recommendation, so instead of recommending other conservative commentators, it recommends organizations like CNN or MSNBC or left-leaning political outlets. Is that occurring?
Thank you, sir. I can't comment on search algorithms or recommendations given my purview as the digital well-being lead. I can take that back to my team, though.
So is it part of digital well-being for search recommendations to reflect where the user wants to go rather than deliberately shifting where they want to go?
Thank you, sir. As a user experience professional, we focus on delivering on user goals. So we try to get out of the way and get them on the task at hand.
So a final question. One of these documents that was leaked explains what Google is doing, and it has a series of steps. Training data are collected and classified, algorithms are programmed, media are filtered, ranked, aggregated, and guaranteed, and that ends with people, parentheses, like us, are programmed. Does Google view its job as programming people with search results?
Thank you, Senator. I can't speak for the whole entire company, but I can tell you that we make sure that we put our users first in our design.
Well, I think these documents raise very serious questions about political bias at the company.
Thank you, Senator Cruz.